What do you think of tipping culture? Do you feel like we should be more like other countries? How do we do that? Do you feel like it's getting out of hand though? Like everyone's asking for a tip? Can I know that?
I'm telling you.
What do you do for a living now?
So I sell like podcast advertisements.
Like BetterHelp and all that.
Yeah, we actually do work with BetterHelp.
I want to take a moment and talk about something that's been very helpful for me lately. Therapy. You know, life can throw some pretty big challenges our way, and it's not always easy to maintain a positive perspective and handle those challenges in a practical way. And that's where therapy has made a big difference for me. I used to find myself getting stuck in negative thought patterns, feeling overwhelmed by obstacles, and not really knowing how to move forward. But working with a therapist has given me the tools to reframe my perspective, break down those challenges into manageable steps, and approach life with a more optimistic and empowered mindset. It's not always easy, but having that support and guidance has been invaluable. That's why I'm excited BetterHelp is sponsoring today's video. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that makes it easy to connect with a licensed therapist from the comfort of your own home. You can have sessions via phone, video chat, or even messaging, so you can choose the format that works best for you. And if you're not vibing with your therapist, you can change to a new one at any time with no extra cost. I know therapy can feel intimidating, but BetterHelp makes it more accessible and convenient than ever. So if you're facing some challenges and need some extra support, I highly recommend it. Just go to betterhelp.com/LAHWF or select LAHWF, LAHWF, at sign up for a special discount off your first month. Trust me, investing in your mental health is always worth it. Thank you. Here's the video.
What do you think of tipping?
I think tipping is good for people. I think it helps their livelihood, but I think recently it's got a little out of control.
No doubt. What's an example?
I think like the machines being automatically like at 20, 22, 25%. So when they automatically give it to you.
The cashiers.
It's just awkward to have to make it custom and type it in. And you know it's not them because they're just doing their job. So it's just like this feeling of guilt constantly.
It's awkward. Do you press no though?
I just do custom and I'll put something else. That's normally what I do.
You put a smaller amount?
Like if it's like 20%, 22, 20, I'll just type in the amount that I think is 18%.
Right. Oh, I put no tip. I look them straight in the eye while I do it. What do you think of tipping?
I think tipping is a little out of control right now, but I do think we should always tip 20% to our service industry people. But I don't want to have to tip when I get coffee.
Well said. That's pretty much where I stand.
Yeah.
Do you press no when you get coffee?
Sometimes I'll add like $1 if they're really sweet. But usually I press no, but I always feel so guilty when I don't tip.
It sucks. I hate it.
Yeah, it does. I hate that like no matter what we buy, no matter where we are, we're pressured to tip and we always feel guilty for it.
It sucks.
Even though it's not our fault that workers aren't paid fair wages.
Right. How do we fix that?
I don't know. Do you have the answer?
I don't. Write your representative, blah, blah, blah. What would you, if some guy was like putting a gun to your head to force you to try to fix that, what would your first step be?
I'd ask for the owner. I don't know.
You would make the owners, you would talk to the owner directly maybe and make them pay higher wages.
It's hard because with like big chains, it's hard because it just seems like they're kind of the ones that are like wanting to pay the least amount of possible to their employees. But I've also heard with a lot of those kinds of companies, if you are tipping, then they like take that out of their hourly wage and it like makes up for their hourly. So I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that and I don't like it if it is.
I mean, it's pretty much above my pay grade. What do you think of tipping culture?
I think it's important to tip people.
When you get coffee and the cashier asks you to, do you usually tip for that?
Most of the time, yes.
Usually out of pressure or because you think they deserve it?
A little bit of both. It is you definitely feel the pressure. So then I'll usually just give them a little tip.
When you get coffee and they ask you if it's going to ask you something on the screen to the cashier, do you tip on that?
I definitely am less inclined to do so if I'm like getting takeout or something that doesn't require like true service.
Right.
But if I'm getting served, then I definitely feel like.
So you usually press no on the cashiers?
Not always.
Yeah.
Sometimes if they're like overtly friendly and make it a point to make me feel welcome in their environment, then
Right.
I'll give them $1, a couple dollars if it's a $5 coffee. But
Yeah. So you don't feel like there's any problem with it? You don't think we should have any policies set in place to change it or make restaurant owners pay higher wages or anything like that?
yeah, I guess I would be an advocate for that, like higher wages, so that the customer doesn't have to feel like it's their duty to tip. But I think until that happens, it's kind of like,
You kind of just have to go with it.
yeah. The system
If we did want to change, how would we go about doing that? Besides like boycotting, I don't know.
I think the folks that work in the industry are in a way responsible for the culture itself. The consumer, I think, has a different responsibility than like the folks that work in it.
What do you think of tipping?
I think it's gotten out of hand, to be honest.
Hold on, let me.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
just wanted-
That's very kind of you.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's out of hand. I think people are asking for too much. Work for your damn money is my opinion.
Okay. Well, what if they're getting $2 an hour, like in Tennessee, at servers?
Oh, that's fucking ridiculous. Tip these motherfuckers. What the you know what I think? I think that the people that work in the restaurant should be in charge of the restaurant.
Right.
In my opinion.
Okay. So
In my opinion.
you're
And
saying you're against making policies making them pay higher wages. Like
no.
let them have their freedom to do whatever they want.
No. Fuck freedom. Freedom's a lie.
Okay.
No.
Oh, snap.
You have the if policy's gonna put more money in people's pockets, make the policy. Make the policy.
Okay.
Make the policy. I think it's a weird double standard that that the people that pay for the food are the ones that are put in charge of paying the people that work. I don't know another industry that's like that. It's a very strange thing.
How do we fix it?
Well, you got a couple different ways depending on, what suits you. Got a couple different ways. You could go, make a sign, stand outside someone's office, throw an egg at them or something.
Protest. Okay.
Protest, yeah, but that's probably not gonna work.
Okay.
Realistically, you got some other things that you could do.
Like
You get a bunch of people that feel the same way that you do, and then you could go stand outside somewhere, maybe be a little bit more aggressive.
Bigger protest.
And then if you really care about it, you get people to unionize and go on strike, and then that way,
Unions.
yeah.
What do you do for a living?
What do I do for a living? I work in a retirement home.
All right.
Also, these aren't connected to anything, are they?
Yes, they are.
They're connected to something? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, y'all are high tech.
The cashier, do you usually push no when they ask you to? It's going to ask you something.
No, I always leave a tip. I'm not an asshole.
Really?
Yeah, I always leave a tip. If someone makes you a drink, you leave them a tip. That's how my parents taught me.
Well, shit.
I'm from the South, boy. We care about our own.
I press no on the cashiers. I obviously tip servers and delivery drivers, but the cashiers, like making my coffee.
Oh, yeah, because it goes into a tip pool, and so it doesn't just all go to the cashier. It gets split amongst all the people that work there.
Right. Well, shit.
Wow.
So you always tip on those?
Yeah, I'm not a fucking asshole. I know how little these people make. Like, how am I, someone that works at a restaurant, supposed to pay someone else's wages that work at a restaurant? It doesn't really make sense.
Right.
A lot of people that work that, during COVID, they were considered essential workers, but they're not paid like essential workers.
Right.
Make that make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
No. Yeah, just pay people more.
I took more than enough of your time. I'm sorry. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Are you, where are you heading?
I'm gonna go pick up my family, and we're gonna go get dinner.
Tight. What do you think of tipping?
I think that it has really changed in the last few years, and it's become a little annoying.
Right. What's an example?
So if you go to pick up your food and you get it yourself and get all the things and get your own refills, and then you're still asked to tip.
Right. To-go orders.
Right.
Yeah. And the cashier is asking.
Yeah.
Do you usually say no when
I
it's
do.
a cashier?
I am now a no.
Yeah.
I'm mostly a no.
You don't succumb to the pressure.
No, not anymore.
That's good. What do you think of tipping?
I think people should tip, yeah.
Okay.
Depending on the situation,
What's the situation they shouldn't tip?
If you are just getting me a canned beverage or something like that, I'm not going to give you money for that.
When you get coffee and they have you ask answer a few questions with the 20% tip, do you say no for that?
Oh no, I'll do it depends. If they're making my coffee, I'll tip 25 because I used to be a barista. So
Okay.
I'm a little biased.
Okay.
Do you tip?
No.
Why?
Well, when it's a cashier, and I talk to them for 10 seconds, and,
I mean,
and they're not individually.
But what if
making
they're
me-
splitting the tips with the people that are making it? And what if they're taking shifts?
How can I know that?
I'm telling
how
you.
do I know- How can I know that? If it is only going to them or going to everyone else?
Well, what if you give the people making it cash?
I'm not against having a tip jar for just putting cash, but don't pressure me to press like 15.
But what if they're pressuring you and there's a tip jar?
I don't know. What about banning tipping altogether like some other countries do? Do you feel like that would work in America?
And if people were paid fairly, yeah. But,
How would we do that?
Servers get paid like $3 an hour in Tennessee.
know.
Yeah, so.
No, I definitely tip them.
Mm-hmm.
But what? How do we get restaurant owners to pay living wages
I
instead
don't
of
know.
the consumer? You know.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know? Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
I don't
dropped
know
out of
either.
college.
I did too.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
What were you gonna go for?
Not even like journalism. I don't know. Communications.
Sure.
Easiest one. Whatever. You usually tip 20% at restaurants.
I like to be bougie, I can't lie. I want them to look at me and be like, oh, he got money. So I'll probably do like a 25-30% tip just because,
Really?
you know. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's more about how they perceive me more than anything else.
What do you do for a living?
My man's really rich and he just pays for everything.
Is that your man?
Oh, no.
Oh, you cheating on your man?
Oh, no, I don't. Two bottoms do not make a top.
Oh shit. What's your man do? That's what makes him rich.
He's retired. He just starts a bunch of companies and then sells them. And I get to,
Coast.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, yeah.
Did you meet him on Grindr?
No, he actually introduced me to him.
Tight. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Your channel is really funny too.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah, I thought.
Oh, sweet. What do you think of tipping?
As the tipper or the tippee?
Tipper.
I feel like it's a lot of peer pressure,
Okay.
and I cave under that peer pressure often.
Yeah, like at the cashier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you? So, you never not leave a tip for the cashier?
I have on occasion not left a tip.
When
One
you
time,
didn't feel the pressure as much.
when do I not? Well, one time I went to Shake Shack and they didn't have like an actual human being taking my order. It was a screen, and they asked me for a tip.
That's
And I
over
was
the
like,
line.
whomst is going to tip in this situation?
Yeah, that's scary.
Oh, that's okay.
You
She,
sure?
she actually loves bees.
Oh, no. That's a big bumblebee.
Okay, baby. It's a bee.
No, you send it love.
I am sending it tough love.
Do a dance or something, and maybe it will.
The bee is pranking you.
All right.
It's karma. It's a karmic bee.
Wait, so Shake Shack wasn't even a person. It was a machine that asked you for a tip.
Yeah, and I said, beep no. And I didn't tip it.
You can say the F word.
Well, as a child present.
How do we fix this excessive tipping culture? Hold on. Sorry. Sound check.
This is such a this is the most chaotic interview.
I know. The universe is like.
Wait. Can I say something
playing
funny?
tricks on me.
When I see shit like this, I'm like, this is the modern day Wild Wild West. Do 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 do.
Sagebrush.
Do do do.
It also reminds me of American Beauty. Plastic bag floating in the wind.
I don't know it.
You haven't seen that movie?
No, I don't
Oh.
know that movie. I just am one.
Okay. So how do we fix this excessive tipping culture?
I mean, ideally, we fix the entire economy and we pay people a living wage, right? So we don't have to pressure
Okay.
other working class citizens to pay
Right.
for people's.
So some policy.
Yeah.
Put some policies in place.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do we do that?
You know what?
I honestly don't
I think
know.
we're doing it right now
Okay. You mean like
in our
media,
own way.
right.
I think that there is like power
Or
in
raising awareness that people are getting a.
raising awareness. There's also like our own personal like frustration. I believe in like a vibration that we carry like affecting like the people around us.
Zeitgeist.
But I do often wonder like who is listening and who actually cares. That's my existential nature.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, like parallel thinking and all that.
Yeah.
What do you think of tipping?
I think it's pretty normal.
You think it's necessary?
Depending on the establishment, probably.
Okay.
I mean, nobody's really going to go in McDonald's and be like, hey, I need to leave a big tip. But if you're at a more fine dining restaurant, then I think it's frowned upon if you don't.
When you get a coffee and the cashier has you answer a few questions,
Sure.
what do you tip them for that?
If I'm just getting a coffee personally, I mean, maybe some small change, but nothing too extensive.
Is it kind of annoying that they're like just staring at you?
I mean, it can be. I mean, there's a lot of people I think in the restaurant industry that expect a certain amount of tip for not really doing anything to gain a tip, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Do you feel like some countries they just have no tipping at all? You feel like we could in America, like if we had it just tipping
set up where no tipping at all,
right? And it's just higher wages.
If there's higher wages, I think that would be acceptable. I think just from when I was raised up, tipping is kind of like a part of the normal societal expectation, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's not really based on service anymore. It's just expected.
Right. Yeah.
So you're not really you're kind of indifferent towards it. Maybe?
Somewhat. I mean, I've worked in the restaurant and bar industry, a decade or so ago. So I know the feeling whenever you're working and not getting tipped versus when you are getting tipped.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's kind of hard for me to really pinpoint. What's your take on it? What do you feel about it?
I think it'd be nice to have no tipping altogether and just have the restaurant owners and companies just pay higher wages. And
I'd be behind that.
It would just simplify everything, I feel like. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if there's some other, implementation of higher salary wages or whatever's worked out with the employee in the restaurant, then I could see no tipping be a fine thing.
What's your diet look like? I want your body. I want a body like yours.
I'm trying to improve mine, man. I eat too much junk food, but I
do too.
I try to be mindful of just putting more good in than bad. That's pretty much it.